All right, folks, welcome back. Today is a video that is way long overdue. Way long overdue. I want to shoot the Hornady 62 grain boat tail hollow point. You might be saying to yourself, I didn't even know that Hornady made a 62 grain boat tail hollow point. That would not be a huge surprise to me. These are only available at one place that I know of, and it's Midsouth Shooter Supply. Seems to be some sort of exclusive arrangement between those guys at Hornady to make these bullets available. So these bullets are not in Hornady's reloading manual. I don't know of any official load data that's out there for them, but they are a very intriguing option because they're cheap. They are 10, 11, 12 cents a piece. You can buy them in huge bulk. So we need to shoot them to find out, but I have a good feeling that these are going to be extremely accurate. I don't really know much about bullets or bullet design, but I think there's a reason why all of your match bullets are a boat tail hollow point type of design. I think there's something in the manufacturing process of the way these guys are put together that it's easier to make consistent and accurate bullets that are hollow points rather than full metal jackets. I don't know. Maybe I'm an idiot. Like I say, I don't know a lot about it, but this seems like the right sort of design for some excellent accuracy, and we're going to find out. So these were sent to me by a big supporter, Dominic. Now he is OG Patreon. He was one of that first batch of folks. Like once I started begging for money on Patreon, he was one of the first in that first group to sign up. And that was such a huge deal in the direction of this channel because at that time I didn't know what sort of community support was out there, and he's kind of part of that group that just totally kind of blew my mind. I didn't expect that many people to jump on board, and he was part of that group. And it really made me start taking this whole thing more seriously, trying to get out more regular content and trying to build the channel. So I'm very thankful for Dominic and the rest of that group. So what have I done to repay him? He sent me these bullets in November, and I'm just now getting around to making a video in February. I don't even have a good excuse for it. We've been so tied up with the 77 grain bullets and the 55 grain bullets, and I just never stopped and said, okay, hey man, let's go ahead and make a video or two on these 62 grainers. So I definitely apologize to him for that. And this is certainly not, it's not like it's a bullet I'm not interested in. I think these are going to be great shooting bullets. I really do. So I can't wait to see how they're going to perform today. Like I mentioned, there's no load data. Now, if we look in the Hornady manual, Hornady doesn't really have any options in the 62 grain range, but they do have 68s, and they've got a 60 grain VMAX. Well, one of the powders I want to shoot today is ARComp. Dominic had sent me a list of the powders he had on hand, and I definitely wanted to pick from that list. This is one of the ones he's got. It's a powder that's always shot well for me, so ARComp is going to be one of our test powders today. And Hornady does have load data for the 68 grain and the 60. So they show a max charge of 24.6 with the 60 grain and 23.5 with a 68 grain. I also looked in a couple other sources, the Alliant website and a few other. What I settled on is 24.0. That's still, that kind of falls between Hornady's max charge for the 60 and the 68. And looking at Alliance charges for other bullets, it seems like that's probably about where our max should fall with this powder. So that's what I want to shoot up to. And I want to do 0.3 of a grain increments, which puts us starting at 22.8 grains. Hopefully we don't get ourselves in trouble. I'm always wary of ARComp because there was one video, I think I was 6.5 Grendel. I chose way wrong with ARComp and hit some crazy pressures. It was awful. So this is one powder I'm always like a little bit wary of, but I think I've taken in enough sources of data to where hopefully this 24 grain max and a 22.8 grain starting charge isn't going to get us into too much trouble. Now on the H4895 side of things, they do have data for the 68 grain, but they show a max charge of 24.3. And whenever I went over to the Hodgdon website and looked at their data, I think Hornady's number was a little bit conservative. Hodgdon has the 60 grain Hornady VMAX and they show a max charge of 26.0. They've got a 63 grain Sierra that they show a max charge of 25.5. The 69 grain Sierra Match King, they show a max charge of 26.0. So the numbers over there were just a little bit, consistently higher than the Hornady book. So what I ended up deciding is let's go up to 25.5. I'm basically copying the data from the 63 grain Sierra. That keeps us under the max charge for the 60 grain Hornady VMAX and the 69 grain Match King. So we're definitely in that right neighborhood. So same deal, 0.3 of a grain increments. That puts us starting out at 24.3 grains. And we'll just keep an eye on things, right? We'll just try to pay attention to our brass, see what it tells us, and hopefully not get ourselves in trouble. Now this bullet does have a cantilever. So for overall length, what I ended up going with is 2.250. It's still a little bit long. Like there's a little more of the cantilever sticking up above the case mouth than I might like to see, but it's not bad. And also 2.250 that's the overall length that Hornady uses for just about everything in their load data. So I figured sticking with that number would be as good a place as any to start. We're using the same batch of brass I've used in the last couple videos. This is Lake City brass. I prepped a big old batch of these guys. So they are clean and they're sized and they're trimmed and the military crimps were removed. And I've actually already primed these guys with some CCI 41 primers. They are 100% ready to rock, and all I need to do is weigh powder and seat bullets. So let's get to that. So I'm going to start with H4895. Weighing powder is awfully boring, so we'll skip it in this video and I'll see you guys over at the bullet seating die. All right, let's see how these guys seat. Back out our seating stem a little bit. It's always easy to get close with a bullet that has a cantilever. You can use it as a visual help to get close with your die. Nope, not quite. Almost. 2.250 is our number, right? 2.267. All right, so I'm at 2.254. So let me go ahead and seat a couple. We'll see how consistent these guys are. These guys are like the other Hornady hollow points. They have very consistent knee plats, like when compared to Sierras or Noslers, where the hollow point is sometimes a little bit jagged and crooked. Hornadys are not quite perfect, but they're a little bit more consistent. 2.252, 2.252, 2.253. Okay, so another little tweak. Okay, there's the first 5. Let's see, I may have gone just a touch too far on that die. 2.250, 2.249, 2.250, 2.251, and 2.252. So these guys are very close. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and use the Hornady bullet comparator to get a reading from cartridge base to ogive. 1.868. 1.868, 1.869, 1.869, and 1.869. Good, very consistent overall lengths, both to the ogive and to the tip of the bullet. And I'll tell you what, these do have a cantilever, so let's go ahead and put a little light crimp on these guys. I think my die is set pretty light right now. Yeah, let's go just a touch heavier than that. Yeah, that might be just a touch on the heavy side, but whatever. We'll go with it. Yeah, it doesn't feel bad at all. We'll call that a medium crimp. So this is what we're left with. Like I said, could have gone a little bit deeper with our seating depth to get a little bit more of that cantilever down below the case mouth, but doesn't look bad. Makes for a pretty good looking round. I just have a feeling these guys are going to shoot really well. Tell you what, I'll jump to the max charge of H4895, which was our highest case fill. I don't think this guy's compressed. Yeah, then again, I'm not feeling any powder moving, and the lighter rounds definitely do. So it looks like with H4895, we're right at 100% case fill. Yeah, I am getting just a little bit of crunch. Not enough to, you know, freak out about or anything. and not enough to affect our overall length. 2.249, 2.253, still looking just fine with overall length and the max charge. ARComp, lighter charges, less case fill. We don't have to worry about it at all with ARComp. So I think that's pretty much it. That's about all the reloading we're going to cover. So let's go ahead and head out to the range. All right, folks, this is the very first short sleeve day of the year. It must be 70 degrees out here today. Just beautiful. So we're shooting at 100 yards. The dots down there are 1 inch in diameter. This gun is a Palmetto State Armory upper. This was one of their cheap, I think, Freedom uppers that I just replaced the barrel in. This is an 18-inch white oak armament barrel, and it has a 1 in 8 twist. So we're going to kick things off with H4895. 24.3 grains is our first charge weight. Okay, that's not a terrible group to start out with, I guess. Hopefully things will get better. 24.6 grains is next. The brass looked fine. All right, there we go. That's a little bit better group. I had a little bit of horizontal stringing there, so the actual measurement on that group might not be a whole lot tighter, but just by the eyeball test, it's a whole lot better group. No doubt about it. Brass still looks good. Moving on, 24.9. $25.2. So that group, I had a couple pieces of brass with a little bit of an ejector mark. I'm not going to freak out about it. I'm going to go ahead and shoot 25.5 grains, but I think we're getting up there as far as pressure goes. All right, moving on to ARComp. First up is 22.8 grains. All right, that's more like it. So no pressure signs on the brass, and the velocity's down there a good bit lower than we started with H4895, which is good. Like, I feel more comfortable starting down here around 2,800 feet per second. With H4895, I was getting a little nervous as those velocities were climbing. So it's all good so far here with ARComp. Let's move on. 23.1 grains. All right, so our group opened up a little bit. Those all felt like good shots. I was hoping we'd have another super tight group to follow up that first one. The brass looks good. We're moving on. 23.4. $23.7. So this is kind of weird. Kind of got a good group, bad group, good group, bad group thing going on here. But if the trend continues, our last group here, 24.0 grains, will be a good group. So let's shoot a good group. All right, that's not a terrible showing for the 62 grain Hornady Boattail hollow point. So let's get back to the bench, talk it all out. All right, folks, let's have a look at the brass. Now, our fourth and fifth charges of H4895, this is where we started seeing just a little bit of ejector marks. So I'll tell you what, I'll grab all 5 of the pieces from the 25.5 grain row, and let's see what we can see here. Yeah, there's that piece in the middle. You see a nice little ejector mark there. And if I get the light just right, a little bit on that guy. Is that a little bit on that guy? It's always hard for me to see through the viewfinder of the camera. But you get the point. I think with H4895, we just went a little bit too far. Now, it's not bad. Primers still look pretty rounded. This isn't anything you wouldn't expect to see out of some 5.56 factory ammo or something, or some, you know, some hot loaded factory ammo. So I don't think it's like we were on the edge of blowing our face off. However, if we had stuck with maybe a 25.0 grain max, we probably would have been in better shape. So that's H4895. Now here's a few from the max charge of ARComp, and with ARComp we chose a whole lot better. We were lagging behind H4895 about 100 feet per second. But our brass looks better for it, I think. No real problems that I've been able to detect with ARComp. So I think we're good there. Okay, let's look at some groups. And one thing I didn't really cover out on the range was this one crazy flyer we had way up high. We get these every once in a while. It's been quite a while since we've had one here on the channel, but every once in a while you just get a bullet, man, that just it's on its own program and goes flying out there like crazy. So I think it was probably an anomaly, but you know, there it is. It screwed up that fourth group, made it a 1.883 inch group. And our last group, 1.139 inches, wasn't the greatest group either. But like I just said during the brass inspection, we probably would have been better served at a 25.0 grain max rather than going up to 25.5. So the top 2 groups were kind of crap. We were kind of starting to see a little bit of pressure. So might as well just keep it down at 25 and below. You know, we made it up to 3,000 feet per second at 24.9 feet per second. So that's not bad. And the groups were just tighter down there. So our best group there, 24.9, 0.708 inches. And the one right below it was a .863. Those aren't bad at all. Those are respectable groups. Like I mentioned, velocities looked pretty good to me. Standard deviations were a little bit crappy, but if you're following along here on the channel, man, we've been having some standard deviation problems lately. Not sure if it's primer related or maybe my chronograph is starting to lose its mind or something weird's going on, but it just kind of is what it is. So let's move on to the ARComp groups. Once again, these groups weren't bad. Our lowest charge there, that's a .468 inch group, right at 2,800 feet per second. Our guy in the middle there was a .704 inch group at 2,900 feet per second. This is good stuff, and I think this bullet clearly has potential for some good accuracy. This seems like it would be a really fun bullet to play around with. Like, it's not so awesome that it's boring. Like, let's be honest, some of the bullets that just shoot so well that no matter what you load them, they all shoot great. They all shoot the same. It's all kind of boring. This isn't that. Like, we had a few crappy groups. We had a few stellar groups. We had some mediocre groups. So this bullet might make for a really nice, reloading project of really working in a consistent performing excellent group or load, finding yourself a good consistent performing load with a bullet that's really reasonably priced. So also here with ARComp, we almost made it to 3,000 feet per second at 24.0 grains. We didn't see any pressure signs. It looked like we're right about in that right area of velocity and pressure and stuff here with ARComp. You could push it a little bit further, I'm sure, but then again, why push it? This is a pretty decent range. So we did shoot a few big groups, but we shot a few small ones. I'm overall pretty pleased. We've still got quite a few of these. Dominic sent me, we've probably got 100 left, or pretty close to it. So we might do some follow-up videos with this guy. If you've shot the 62 grainer, let me know what your favorite powder is. What's been working for you? Or what other powders would you like to see with this bullet? Because I think it's a good one. We've got some left. I can order more. It seems like the sort of bullet that might be, worthy of a little bit of our time to nail down some good combos with it. I just wish it was available everywhere. It seems like a bullet that would sell well for Hornady. I don't know why they wouldn't, bring this guy into mass production. I don't know, man. So I think that's about it for today. I'm going to be gone for a couple days. I need to work on some 224 Valkyrie videos. Plus, I've got rain coming in. So over the next couple days, I'm going to be working on 224 Valkyrie and dodging the rain. I'm hoping maybe Friday night I can put up some videos, or it might be Sunday. I don't know yet. I'll have to see how it goes. But I'm hoping to drop 224 Valkyrie videos at the same time. There'll be one video that covers some reloading stuff, and then there'll be another video that's really focused on that white oak armament barrel. I want the barrel video to maybe be a little shorter, be a little more to the point. The folks who aren't interested in reloading, maybe they can still come to it and learn about the white oak armament barrel and its performance with some factory ammo and a few hand loads. But then at the same time, I want to talk everything out and cover everything over in a reloading video. And I really need to shoot them both like simultaneously. I'm already underway. I've got some rounds through the upper, getting it broke in, trying to get some empty brass so I can play around with reloading. So that's ongoing. It's continuing. It's going to take me a couple days to finish those videos, get them edited, and get them ready to put up. So that'll be the next videos, but I don't want to rush them. Thank you so very much to Dominic for sending these bullets, and thanks to all of the other Patreon supporters from back in July and August. Right, I was supposed to go back to work in October, but the response from you guys in July and August really just kind of it changed everything. And now here we are in February. The funding still isn't quite where I need it to be, but the channel's growing so fast, I think we're going to be there pretty soon. I'm really hoping that I can just keep this going indefinitely. And I never would have dreamed that that would even be possible in such a small community like Reloading. So thank you guys. Thank all of the additional Patreon supporters that have followed up since your initial surge. All of the PayPal donations, all of the Super Chat donations, all of you guys using my affiliate links in the description of my videos. The support is just amazing on every front, and I Man, I appreciate you guys so much. So I'll see you next time. It'll be a couple days, but it'll be 224 Valkyrie, so hopefully it'll be worth the wait. I'll see you next time.